Welcome to the video lecture of PUC. My name is Chavvi Gupta, Assistant Professor, Arya College of Engineering and IT. We are discussing unit number 5. Principle of communication is covered in Faculty of Engineering, branch IT, semester 4. We are discussing spread spectrum modulation. Further, we will be covering the introduction, why spread spectrum communication, how it works, spread spectrum techniques, applications and conclusion. First, introduction to spread spectrum modulation. Spread spectrum technology were initially developed for the military and intelligence communicates to overcome the two shortcomings against interceptions and jamming. The basic idea was to expand each user signal to occupy a much broader spectrum than necessary. An important aspect of spread spectrum modulation is that if it can provide protection against externally generated interfacing signal with finite power. Spread spectrum techniques involve spreading their signal bandwidth B over the complete available bandwidth B total. Principle of spread spectrum. Show the general model of spread spectrum digital communication system. In this diagram, input is fed to a channel encoder that produces analog signal with a relatively narrow bandwidth around center frequency. This signal is further modulated using spreading sequence. This second modulated process increases the bandwidth of the signal to be transmitted. The same spreading sequence is used to demodulate the spread spectrum signal. Spread spectrum is to take energy of signal in bandwidth B and spread it over the total available bandwidth. Next, overview of spread spectrum communication. Spread spectrum is a means of transmission in which the data sequence occupies a bandwidth in excess of the minimum bandwidth necessary to send it. Effectively, the signal is mapped to a higher dimensional signal space. Signal spreading is done before transmission by using a spreading sequence. The same sequence is used at the receiver to retrieve the signal. Spread spectrum is most effective against interference intentionally or non-intentionally with fixed energy. Main commercial application in wireless and GPS. Why spread spectrum? Spread spectrum signals are distributed over a wide range of frequencies and then collected back at the receiver. These wide bandwidth signals are noise-like and hence difficult to detect or interference with. Initially adopted in military application for its resistance to jamming and difficulty of interception. More recently adopted in commercial wireless communication. Next, need for spread spectrum. First, security. Second, safeguards for physical security must be even greater in wireless communication. Encryption means encrypted communication must not be easily imprinted. Authentication is the node who if claims to be. How spread spectrum works? Spread spectrum uses wideband noise-like signals. Because spread spectrum signals are noise-like, they are hard to detect. Next, spread spectrum signals are also hard to interrupt or demodulate. Further, spread spectrum signals are harder to jam, interfere with than narrowband signals. These low probability of intercept and anti-jam features are why the military has used spread spectrum for so many years. Next, spreading codes. What is spreading codes? A noise like an random signal has to be generated at the transmitter. The same signal must be generated at the receiver in synchronization. We limit the complexity by specifying only one bit per sample, that is binary sequence. PN sequence. What is PN sequence? PN generator produce periodic sequence that appear to be a random sequence of binary ones and zeros. PN sequences are generated by an algorithm using some initial value called seed. Sequence is typically random but will pass many tests of randomness. Sequence referred to as a PN sequence number or PN sequence generator. Unless algorithms and seed are known, their sequence is impractical to predict. What is the properties of PN sequence? First property, uniform distribution. Second, balance property, run property, independence, correlation property, unpredictability, means without knowing seeds and algorithm. And last property of PN sequence, that means randomness.